Hey everyone, my name's Delaina Burns and I'm with you today. I'm live with Prima doing one of our little mini segments, and today it's all about our beautiful mica powders. You can see I have quite a few of them opened here, and just want to give you a little description of the mica powders to start with. They are actual art ingredients mica powders and opal magic powders. They're super fine, smooth and beautiful shiny mineral powders that can be added to any kind of medium. You can apply them directly to your projects or mix them with gels, paste, gessos. You can turn them into a spray, mix them in, brush them on sticky surfaces. They don't actually react with water either once you got them glued down, so it's just a really beautiful way of adding color to your project. So real quick, let's get started. Here are a few samples of some tags that I've done, and you can see lots of pretty colors, and I'll go through each one really fast and how kind of subtle colors and resist. And let's go through first. Even done them on a few resins. You can see this is one of the beautiful artifacts, and this is actually from one of the molds, from one of the brand new Prima molds that I created here with color. So moving on, let's get started. First I want to kind of show you how it actually mixes like a paint. You can see if I mix it with a gesso, it actually becomes a colored paint. So what I'm going to do is just scoop out some gesso here on my little non-stick mat, and with kind of my sticky end of my little spatula here, I'm just going to kind of put it inside there. It'll just kind of grab up a little bit of the color. I want to kind of keep this as clean as possible. This is powder, and it will tend to kind of go everywhere if you're not careful. With the gesso, it can kind of lighten the color because the gesso is a white base, so you may have to add a good bit to get that color in there. And then what you do is grab a mask or a stencil, lay your stencil down on your project, and in this case I'm using a tag. Just scoop up some, spread it on. This, you don't have to use a stencil. You could spread this on a project not using a stencil. I didn't get a lot here, so I'm just going to kind of show you how this kind of spreads around, kind of like so. And you can see in this way you use it basically as a paint, so you get that really pretty gold color on your tag as a paint effect. So really quickly, let's clean up our mess, move on to the next. Another way you can use it as a paint is by mixing it with either the glossy gel, the soft glossy gel, or the soft matte gel. That works as well, and I'll show you another little technique that I do with that. So we'll lay this wet one to the side, grab another stencil and another tag. Let's lay this to the side, and you can see I got kind of a multicolored technique on this one. You kind of see there's more than one colors I've used. I've used like 3 colors. I've got the blue, the yellow, the blue and the yellow mixed to make a little green, and then I've used some orange down on the end here. The way I created that is just kind of lay your stencil down, grab your matte gel or your actually let's grab the 3D gel for this one. Grab your 3D gel, and what I want to do is just scoop out a good bit of the 3D gel and kind of begin to move it around on my tag first, because I want that dimension too. So I'm going to do 2 layers of the gel. So kind of get that moved around, And what I'm going to do with a few little plastic forks, just going to use the end of these little forks, I'm going to scoop out a little blue and just kind of drop it there. And then I'm not going to mix these colors, so I'm going to grab another fork. I'm going to dip out a little yellow. And I believe this is called Sunshine. It's called Sunny Yellow, actually. So I'm going to scoop out a little yellow, changing forks. I want to move back here and get a little bit of this tangerine color. You can see I'm going to move I've got all these tops open so I can work quickly here. Scoop out a little of that tangerine color. Let's lay all of our little colored forks to the side. I don't want to mix these colors except for on my project. Then with my clean, well, it's kind of stained, but with my clean spatula, I want to reach back into my glossy gel, my 3D gel here, and I just want to spread these colors. Just spread them out. You can kind of mix them in. See, that yellow is going to mix with that blue. The yellow is also going to mix with that orange. The blue may mix in with the orange a little bit. It all is good, and all of it makes me happy. So just spread it around, all around your tag. You can kind of move these bottom colors back up. If you don't want it real muddy, don't move back up and mix it in a lot up at the top, because you can. Some of these colors will muddy. So just sort of experiment. But you can see you get a multicolored effect. Can you see that by doing that? You see how pretty that is? Multicolors on all your stars. That would be really pretty on your projects. So that is another way to use those. Now let's clean our mess again. I want to grab a baby wipe, clean off my spatula. And you could always, if you want to reuse this, you could always put it in a little baggie or in a little airtight jar to save that. Okay, next I want to show you how it kind of works as a paint. I'm just going to grab a little piece of resin here. Let's grab a little resin frame. I'm going to go ahead and pull a wipe out, so I don't have to grab the package again. Okay. Take your little frame here, and using the matte gel, I just want to take a little out. The first thing you can do is kind of mix it and have like a little sticky paint made from it. So first I want to just grab a little bit. Let's do a little bit of the pink. Put a little of the pink down on our table. And I'm using the ends of these little plastic forks. Then I can wipe those off and use those later so that I'm not mixing and blending all these until I'm ready. And on the table, just kind of stir this around with your paintbrush. It may work a little better to kind of do it with your spatula, just whichever way. I'm just going to kind of do this with my paintbrush for now. And this is, you're going to have to work kind of quickly on this. This is going to dry quick. So what you want to do is just kind of, I'm just going to kind of pounce that color on and just kind of spread it all around. And this is going to be a really quick dry. It's going to be a little iridescent too. It's not going to be a real dark finish all over the whole thing. You're going to get some of your white kind of showing through from your resin, which I like. And then while it's wet, while you still got it kind of wet before it dries, grab your little fork and you can pull out a little of the blue. Pull a little blue down, just kind of dry. Blue is down. And then with another brush, I'm going to kind of go in with a little stencil brush, just a little flat stencil brush. Pick up some of that color. This is still sticky. And kind of dab that on. And you get a little bit of a two-color effect. You kind of see how that is. So you can go with the one color or the two colors. And you can do a few layers of the one color to get it darker. But this is a really quick dry, and that's one way or another way to use it kind of as a as a sticky paint. And you can do that on any of your resins, any of the Relics and Artifacts or the Ingville Balm resins, just any of the resins that you have, you can use those effects for. Okay, the next thing I want to do is use it kind of like as a little dry brush. Let's clean our mess up here. It is a color mess when you go to clean it up, but wipes up really easy. I'm just going to kind of wipe my brush off and put that in water until I'm ready to wash it up. So clean all this away. This brush as well. I'm just going to kind of put this in water till I'm ready to dry, or till I'm ready to wash. Okay, the next thing I want to do is this little Relics and Artifacts heart here. You can see first I painted it red with the new acrylic paint from Prima. This is the metallic royal red, and you see it's a beautiful color all by itself, but I wanted to kick that up a notch so that a little more of our details showed. So I just grabbed a dry brush, and I want to use the Opal Magic. This is the gold Opal Magic, and it comes with a little shaker top, and I may have just enough in that top to grab a little color out. And what you can do is just literally dry brush this on, just to pull out some of your highlights and dimension in your piece like this. If you want it more permanent, grab your soft matte gel again, and should have left the top off of it, and just put your brush in, just a very light amount, not a lot, not going to take a lot. You're just going to kind of run your brush over the entire thing, just really quick. And then let's take this top off so I can get down in there. Remove this, dip your brush in. Now you're not contaminating because you don't have another color on here, and the matte gel is just going to grab it. And you're just going to brush over, and you can see how much darker that is because it's grabbing and sticking to the matte gel. About like that. Then grab a piece of like cheesecloth or something, paper towel. I've got cheesecloth laying here, and just wipe away from the top, and you kind of see you get a little bit more color added to your piece. And that is a permanent color that's not going to come back off on your hands. You do it dry without that, you're going to get maybe a little bit of residue on your fingers. Not a lot, so it's not enough to cause you a problem. Did the same thing with one of the molds that I created. I colored it in the blue with the matte gel like a paint, and then I just dry brushed back over it the green, so you get the different colors in that. So that's another way to use it. Micas are just very versatile. You can use your black gesso and the white gesso as well to do your coloring. The last couple of things that I want to show you, I'll put this back together properly in just a moment, is I want to show you how to do this technique here using some Versamark ink. We're going to do a little stamping technique. I think this might just be my favorite right now to do with this. So we're going to grab our stamp, and I'm going to use this little stamping pad so that I have a really even stamp. Get your Versamark ink. Let's move our brush into the water. I want to grab another stencil brush. We're going to use a stencil brush with this technique. So you need something flat and kind of hard you can pounce with as far as a brush is concerned. Take your Versamark ink, and this is just a resist ink. Stamp up your stamp, and you can kind of see what we got here going on with the different colors that I used. The glare may be terrible, so just kind of stamp up your stamp, and I'm going to stamp it in a couple of places. What about there? Ink it up again, and just for time purposes I'm just going to do 2 stamps, pretty big versions of it here. One there. Just make sure you get the whole thing. Get your image really crisp. Then what I'm going to do is go in with my stencil brush, and you can see I did the same thing on this little painted image here. Going with your stencil brush, and I'm going to grab a little of the pink onto my brush, and I'm just going to pounce. Just move that all around. Pounce, pounce, pounce. Kind of get your image coming through there. And you can kind of see when I wipe away using the little cheesecloth there, you can see I'm going to grab some yellow and just pounce, pounce, pounce all around. And you can see when I move it away, again, you're getting your image there. The yellow may be harder to see. Let's grab some blue. Move some blue in here on this image. And it's going to continue to stick as long as the glue is wet for a few minutes. It's going to continue to stick. And you can add as many colors as you like. You can mix the colors, but you can see it just mixes and makes a really pretty image. That's simple. So you can kind of see here when I took a little more time with it and just mix the colors. And it's just that simple. You just use the Versamark ink, stamp your image, and then pounce your color. Just pounce it away. And wipe away your excess with a cheesecloth or something like that. The next thing I want to show you is that it actually also becomes a spray, and for time purposes I'm not going to be able to do the resist, but I first used a stencil, and I used some of the new heavy body gel, and I stenciled on the pattern here, and then I took some of the teal. I put water in an empty bottle, a bottle I'd already used, or you can buy the bottles already empty. And I did about 3 scoops of the teal into the spray bottle, and then you spray and it reacts on your paper just like a bloom spray would. And you can go in and dab some of the color away or leave it whatever you like. You can see it's a kind of a subtle type color, but it's going to be kind of an iridescent color when you use these, but it works perfectly as a spray as well. You can spray your flowers. The ideas are just endless for what you can do with it. My last tip for what you can do with these is using the Christine Adolph little sticky stickers, and let me find where I put them. They are here somewhere. Grab another word. So what I used here is a word by Christine Adolph. Just go in and cut one of the words out. Cut one of the little words out. Kind of remove the back. Let's stick it down on a little piece of acrylic. I want to grab just a little piece of packaging. This is just some old Prima packaging that I'm going to use as acrylic, and I'm going to cut out the flat area here. I've used quite a bit of this, so cut out your flat area. Like so. I like using this on acrylic because you don't want it to contaminate your paper. It will color your paper, so by doing it on acrylic you're going to get the entire word, and then you can cut this word out and use it as a dimensional word on your projects. And by using the powders you can get it any color. We have all the foils that we can use with all the Christine Adolph foils, and so many different ideas with the foils, but this is just one more idea to get to use your stickers without, and again, it's where your cheesecloth comes in handy because you can just kind of wipe the color away. You can see the word, and it's a very, again, kind of an iridescent type color. It'll go beautiful with your shabby projects and add color to all of them. So what I would do is just go in and actually cut around this to cut that word out, and you can see that is lots and lots of ideas for things that you can do with the mica powders. So just grab a few of my samples here and show them one more time, but you can see we have just a variety of samples, and there are so many different colors. The beautiful opal magic colors are gorgeous, and anyway, they can add life to all of your beautiful colored projects. So thank you so much for joining me. That is it for this mini segment. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you next month.